a lot of companies know that they need content creators or that their content's not doing well. But even with that understanding, they don't know what to look for in a
When
creator.
you're looking for creators, what are the three qualities that you're looking for? Like, what are the three top things that you're like, that's a signal? I feel like whoever ran your bachelor and bachelorette party should like do that as a career. That was you?
You're looking at him, bro. Me and Sam planned the whole thing. We do have people that have helped us. I
The
was not.
consultants.
I was not the person that made the custom Stanley.
Yeah.
We had these mugs and stuff, but dude, it was really fun planning.
I mean, obviously, you just started the newsletter, the YouTube. You got a lot of action, and Creator X seems to be bringing in clients every week. And the main thing that you're doing with Creator X is you're doing recruiting for creators and helping them get paired with brands. So you have a unique lens for like looking for talent. And I want to kind of talk about like what you see in creator talent. What are consistencies across the board? Can we start there?
Yes, absolutely. So let me even just say how I look at Creator X. So what I'm doing with Creator X is building a a creator marketplace that is really like a talent platform that is cloud based. So anywhere in the world, companies can have access to really high quality creators in a variety of ways. So the main thing that companies come to us for is in-house roles. So like we're helping them actually find a creator that can be in the office with them, or even if it's remote, is creating on the brand account every day. But we also have companies coming to us asking for a very specific cohort of 5 creators that are in our niche that can just consult on our next marketing campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So the thesis for me is that companies are always going to be needing access to really high quality content. And a lot of social media managers, a lot of CMOs, a lot of agencies don't spend enough time with the ups and downs and twists and turns of algorithms to really stay on the pulse of how to create great content. So what we're doing is constantly curating. It's not just one time. It's always updating our talent pool with 1% creators that really know what they're doing and are skilled at a variety of different things. And then companies come to us to be using those creators for whatever their problems are within content. So it really started with just like this, hey, we need somebody to come film for us today. Could you have anybody that wants to do that? To it being like, hey, we have a salaried role at $155,000 for somebody to be making our content on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. Whatever those needs are from brands, we are the people that are like the intermediaries going and fulfilling them.
And there's a huge need for that. I don't even do that professionally, but I get requests for that. Like, I think a lot of creators get requests for that all the time. Like, hey, do you know someone that could do this? Could you know, like,
Yeah, you got a friend? Do you have a friend yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And what you're doing is you're kind of, you're at the forefront of doing that. Also educating in that space on like what brands should be looking for. And then, so I think this conversation will be beneficial for both brands and creators. So,
Yeah.
so one, why do brands come to you specifically, and how are they coming to you now?
Why companies are coming to me? Most companies don't understand what to look for in a creator. So a lot of companies know that they need content creators or that their content's not doing well. But even with that understanding, they don't know what to look for in a creator.
Mm-hmm.
So they come to us first for our expertise of like really understanding what to look for in a relevant skill set content creator for today. And like what to look for in a creator that actually wants to do that for a company.
Yep.
Like actually wants to go and do that with their brand. So the first thing is like what to even look for. Then I think after that it's where if a company even knows, okay, this is what it looks like to be a good creator. Most companies then have a hard time with going, where do you go and find those people?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of creators don't use LinkedIn. LinkedIn's not a good platform for finding creators. Indeed, Upwork, like there's really not like a clear place that creators are excited to go and post their services, and that makes it easy for brands. So like the where is also another issue. And then like the last thing I would say is how. Like even if they do know where to go find these people, most don't understand how you actually work with a creator that gets a creator energized that makes a creator want to do it, that that like makes the creator feel valued. Um, so just like really understanding how to actually work with them is another thing. So they're coming to us with our expertise to be like, look, I don't want to like spend a year trying to understand all of this. Like, let us use you to go and like use the time that you have and the expertise that you have to find us somebody that's legit.
I have so many things, dude. I swear we could talk for 5 hours on this, but I gotta stick to my questions. All right.
Okay, cool.
So when you're looking for creators, what are the three qualities that you're looking for? Like, what are the three top things that you're like, that's a signal for someone that I would like to pair with a brand?
So the signals that we look for in creators, there's probably more than 40 of them. Like there's a lot. There's a couple of clear indications. One for me is have they made content that has performed in the past? When you're looking at their account, does it look like they have engagement that is intriguing to a brand that shows that they have some skills of cultivating a community? But it's not just like, okay, this performance metric of a certain number of views indicates that. It's a little bit deeper than that. It's like when I go into their comment section, can I tell that their audience is actually interested by the sentiment of comments? Does it actually see like they're understanding the platform, or is it just like they had a viral video because they posted something at the right time?
Mm-hmm.
So there's more to it than that. I would say the second thing that is like that I can tell that somebody is like actually really understands content is, have they gone through a period where the platform changed, the algorithm changed, and therefore their content started dipping, and they found their way out of it to reiterate themselves and like find a way back to getting traction? Because you know as well as I do, being good at one series and having real traction doesn't always last. And so,
Adaptability.
exactly. So, can you adapt to when something switches up? Can you read the algorithm and like know and read your community and know like what to switch to? So, those are a couple things, but like there's really like a list of probably 10 things like that that have different bullet points beneath them that we try to look through to deem somebody being really high quality.
So it's not just like a face of the content; it's also has strategic and collaborative insight as well.
Exactly. Some companies are like, hey, we literally just want somebody that looks like the people that are shopping for our product. That's okay.
Yeah.
But what I think most actually are looking for is somebody that really gets it, that when they come into the office, they're like a level up from the people that are in the office. So that's what I try to provide.
And what is a red flag for not working with a creator?
Brand safety.
Okay, brand safety.
Like if a creator is posting very controversial things on their account, that a company would be like, yo, our employees can't share things like this. We glance over them. We like just don't even consider them.
Is there anything with the communication? Like maybe you pinpoint a good creator, you start correspondence with them. Is there anything in like the first couple messages where you're like, maybe they might not be a good fit? Yeah.
I would say it's so I mean, like beyond the initial vetting process that we do visually, or like our initial screening, we actually try and meet with every person to do like a human interaction, because again, when we're placing people, we want the brands to be like, we're so stoked on this person. They've been an
They're hype.
incredible leader on our team. They've really helped with us. They're great for culture. So when we're like sitting with them, if we feel like in a initial interview that's like more of like just of getting a read on each other's vibes of just how people are feeling with each other in a culture, we if we feel like, okay, this is not somebody that we would be able to push forward because they don't respond well, they're not able to actually articulate what their skill set is, they don't even understand how they've got performing content, it's just going to be really hard for us to put somebody in-house with a brand, and we're unable to pass them forward.
Yeah, and what you're doing is so critical for these brands because like it's like dude, like you mentioned, it's one thing to get good engagement, consistent content, right? It's like another thing is like, is there an overlap between what this creator cares about and what they're good at creating content for? Are they good communicators? Are they going to be a good partner to the brand? Like all of that fit stuff. It's like it takes someone with a lot of experience building in the space that really cares about it, like you, to make this make sense for a brand and a creator.
Dude, I honestly, I think that that's the reason why I feel very intentional, like this company is something that I was really meant to be doing, because I know when I'm sitting with a creator and talking to them and asking them, yo, what's your long-term plan? And they're telling me, I want to be the next Jake Paul, and I want to be I know, okay, you are not the right person for this role, because I know that you actually are looking
You're
more
going to care
into,
about something
you
else.
want to be you want to be a builder of your own business rather than going and helping on these other projects. And that's not a bad thing. I actually think that's a great thing. And we have creators in our database that are great for other things like consulting that can still build their own thing. But if you're applying for an in-house role to try and help a company crush their own content, you have to be a team player for that company as well. And so I know from experience of being a creator, if the only thing that you're talking about is building your own thing, you're not going to want to go and help somebody build their own thing.
And financially, what do you recommend brand? Because you, like you said, you want the creators to be happy, like from a collaborative and creative standpoint, but also like it's got to make sense for them. How much do you tell brands? Because I find a lot of brands don't understand how much actually needs to be allocated for like a creator to like get excited about this. Is there like a range where you tell them, hey, this is the amount that you should probably have available to make this real? If not, I'm not the guy to work with
Yeah.
you.
The least that we're seeing creators getting paid right now for about 15 videos a month is $3,000. That's on the lowest end, but it really ranges from project and company, because we also are getting much more of an average of like $7,000 to $8,000 a month for that same 15 videos. But like when a company comes to us, what we're telling them is, for us to go and find quality, we can't work with a budget that is lower than $3,000 for 15
Hmm.
videos.
That makes
And
sense.
I
Yeah.
think that's only gonna get higher. I think more companies are realizing how important content is. It's literally the way that people find products. Nobody is finding products,
Yeah.
like maybe a fraction of people are finding products in store versus somebody posting it on social after they bought it in store.
Yep.
And so I just think that like the more that companies realize, wait, we actually have to be really good at social, the more they'll be like, let's pull some money from our ad budget or event budget to actually put towards content. So I think creators will continue getting paid more.
And what are brands coming to you for the most for? Is it short form platforms?
Mainly, I would say 75 short form, 25 long form.
Got it. And
That's a newer thing. Like, it was never historically YouTube creators or for YouTube content. I'd say in the last 5 months, there's been a real push for brands coming to us saying, hey, can you find us a long form creator that can actually be in the office with us almost every day documenting, or somebody that is on screen talent that can make like educational long form videos for us?
and then in the creative process, because that's another like a part of the equation here. It's this creator feels like a brand is giving too much feedback, inhibiting the creative, like their creative like hat too much for them to like for this to even to be enjoyable for them. So like what is like the perfect scenario for like finding that like creative process? Like, is it like creator creates video? Like how like what is the
We
step?
actually
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Yeah, I actually feel like companies are getting better at that. Like, usually when they come to us, they've tried their own ideas, they've tried their paid agencies' ideas, they've tried their employee that's like just has a fun ideas, and so they're usually coming to us being like, we don't know what to do, and we want somebody that really understands it. So it's less, we're getting that we're hearing less about companies being like, we're really constricting creative ideas with the person that we're hiring. So I don't feel like that's that. I feel like we hear that a lot more with like influencer
yeah,
collaborations, where
yeah.
it's like their influencer marketer is kind of constrictive. But when they're coming to us being like, hey, we want somebody that really gets it to come in and do it, I think that the creator has a lot of freedom, to the point where actually the creator needs to show up and really be like, I'm taking the lead with this, with my ideas, because that's what the company is looking for.
So you wouldn't recommend for every 15-second video they make, the link gets sent to a spreadsheet and then 10 people from the marketing team comment their notes on it and then make the creator go film that again. That's not a good. Would you say
Exactly.
yes or no to that creative process?
Yeah, that's it. That's the main strategy. No, that's a hard no for me.
It just, I see a lot of, or I don't, you're right. Like I used to see more of that. And like, that's more of like a, hey, if you're filming a TV commercial or you're putting up a billboard, like, sure. But there's too much friction between idea and publishing for this to work on social, because speed is a main component here, and trust with your
I
creator.
agree. It moves so fast that I think the companies that like, here's what we say. Because social moves so fast, when you're in the actual process of creation, there should be as little of friction as possible. So do the real due diligence before to make sure that you feel like you're trusting the people that are in that room creating, and then like really trust them and let them like go to work. Because if there's a person that is really harshly judging and is killing ideas and is really creating friction, it's not going to make anything better. It's going to actually make it's going to actually make the long-term project a lot worse. So I just think like up front, do a lot more due diligence. Like, don't hire somebody until you feel really ready to.
Yeah.
Don't put that person in the position to create until you feel really ready to let them to trust them and let them rip it.
And the good thing about the types of brands that are probably coming to you is like they probably get it more so. Like they follow your content, they've been educated on like what works and what not. So yeah, it's just if it's not going to hurt the brand, give it a green light, because this creator has to put it out there, test it, and iterate it, and make more and better content. So
Yep.
you've seen a lot of content over the last 4 years, creating in all different spaces, from all channels, to consulting with the biggest creators in the world, biggest brands in the world. What is like what's a big change that you've seen in the creator space over the last 4 years?
Probably the amount of effort for content to really be seen has multiplied in the like by at least 5 to 10 times. It makes sense because there's so many more people creating than there was 5, 6 years ago. So with more and more people creating, there's less eyeballs that are able to see your content. So you have to actually find ways to really stand out. So people put more and more time into the actual production. I have 3 years ago, I didn't know one person that was spending more than 4 hours on a video. Like, somebody telling me that they were spending 4 hours on a video would have blown me away. Uh, I would have been blown away if somebody said that. And now I have people telling me that they spend a week, uh, 10 days
Oh
on a
my gosh.
piece.
I would
So,
be over it by then. I'd be like, all right, next one. But like, you're
right?
right. You're right. Like that's what it takes. Because there's just more competition to be seen. You spoke about like, potentially getting like consulting opportunities. And I always thought that was a great idea. Like, brand comes to creator to do an influencer post. That brand comes to them because they know about the space, and they likely have an audience of people that are potential customers of that brand. So they know a lot of information about this space. How would a creator go about like upselling that idea of like, hey, don't just pay me for a brand deal. I want to offer you this. Like, what could they offer? What's an idea for?
I
Yeah.
think they go about it that I think they go about it that way. I think they actually go about it by saying exactly that. Like, hey, I know that we are contracted to do a post. Also, I'm really curious, do you guys have any interest in me helping with or giving you feedback on the content that I'm seeing on your page or your guys' ads or whatever you feel like you really understand as a creator? I would I would just start throwing it out there because I do think that companies, some of them don't even know that they need help with it or know that that's a thing. But if they did know and if they actually could have somebody reaching out to them, they would probably accept it. I don't know what the price point necessarily, but they would accept it and be like really interested in it. So I would just say if you're a creator right now, I would start mentioning that to brands. I would start mentioning it to the people that you're actively working with and just saying, "Hey, what else can I help with? Like, I'm here, we have this relationship now. What else can I jump in on that would be useful to you?"
And what would that look like? It's like, I'll hop on a call once a week with you. Like, Like
Yeah,
how do you
exactly.
package that as a creator?
The
Yeah.
way that I started doing consulting was exactly that. I would get on a call for 30 minutes a week. I was in charge of coming up with scripts. I would write out the scripts. I initially came up with 3 to 4 different series for the brand.
Mm.
I came up with everything, like the idea, the name, how they would film it, inspo, who on the team would be filming it. Then I would write out the script of what they were filming. And then I would get on the call for 30 minutes. I would walk through that script with them
Yep.
so that they feel really good with going and filming it. And then they would leave the call and they would go and film it and they would send it to me. I would give them any sort of like feedback if there was like they need to film it again or how they could edit it. And then I would do the same thing for the next week. So the next week I would come ready with the scripts for that week.
Yep.
So I think that's a simple way
Yep.
to do consulting. It really is just like, what do you really feel skilled with? Because I genuinely feel skilled with writing out the content for a brand and like knowing who in the team's going to film it and where and how and all that. If your skill set is copywriting and you're like, I'm a fucking savage at writing copy,
Uh-huh.
like maybe that's what you offer. And you're like, hey, I know you're paying me as an influencer for a post, but have you guys thought about like having somebody consult on your emails or on the way that you guys are doing SMS or the way that you guys are doing your captions? Because I'm really good at writing out pieces of content. So let me like offer that to you.
And one more thing on that subject, how do you price that?
It's
Let,
such a shot in the dark. It's such a shot in the dark. I started by saying, would it be valuable to you for, and then a price point that I was just going to be happy with.
yep.
And
Yep.
I think I started at $1,000 for, we would meet 4 times a month and I would write out scripts. And then once I crushed it for them and they were like, yeah, that was really valuable. The next brand that I talked to, I was like, all right, can I do this for $2,000? And then
Yep.
they were like, yeah. And then it just goes up and up until you start realizing that you can probably charge brands like $10,000 if they think that you're really legit and if they know that you're confident in it.
Yeah.
Um, but I think you just got to start with what you feel good with.
I love that. And that's insightful, and I think a lot of people, I hope, will take that and go make an extra couple $1,000s this month just with that advice alone. JT, how are we doing
I
on
agree.
time right now?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm waiting for lunch, so you're
Okay.
chilling.
So YouTube. Let's talk about YouTube. Like you talked about adaptability as a creator, and that's been one of my most exciting things about watching you from afar. Is like I see you just like dominate this platform, pop over here. And then I see you experimenting on YouTube, and it's a really fun format. I actually see more people kind of like borrowing from your approach to YouTube now as well. Even though it's not a humongous channel at this point, like um it a lot, there's a high, I can tell that there's a high quality, there's a good signal that you're getting back from that content. What's been the biggest change jumping from, because you're still doing short form, but what's the biggest change between short form and how you're approaching YouTube?
The attention span on short form continues to get slower and slower with just the amount of content that people are consuming. And so because it's gotten slower and slower, or shorter and shorter, sorry, because the attention span on short form has continued to get shorter and shorter, edits need to be getting faster and faster to keep people's attention. So I think that the reason why YouTube is appealing to a lot of people is there's a lot of fatigue with short form, just from how fast paced everything is and how it's just like this endless kind of scroll. Um, YouTube offers something different because when you go onto the platform, you're usually wanting to sit for an extended period of time and really like digest
Mm-hmm.
and like really actually like consume intentionally. So I think the intrigue for me was just I really wanted people and still want people to spend time with me and actually like have it be almost like uninterrupted time where you're actually hearing my thoughts and like understanding what I'm trying to do. So that was my intention with it. And the reason why I went really raw with it to start was I didn't have the time, energy, ability to have a real cinematic person coming and filming with me every day. So I was like, I'm doing this myself. What's the things that I can do that I feel like people will relate to? And so I just started filming it very like, I mean, I initially started filming it on my iPhone. and just like literally setting up a camera and talking into it like I'm talking to a friend, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seemed like people like that. And I still am doing that. And now I actually have learned how to use a camera and I'm liking it. So I've been doing it with that. But just I think the raw format of it being like this is a relationship that people are trying to invest in is something that people are really enjoying.
Yeah, and I've noticed myself, like I'll open up YouTube. I always want to click on yours because it is like, I'm like, I know it's not going to be this, it's not going to try to hijack my brain. And I know that it's almost the way you like consume a podcast. It's like in the background of building, um, I have this on too, and like there's visual. I pop over every now and then and just look to see what's going on, but I can hear you, and I'm
Yeah.
as someone that kind of creator space is pretty lonely. I don't get to rub shoulders with a lot of people that like are on a similar wavelength as me. And like it feels like I'm catching up with a buddy. I'm just like hanging out with my buddy's day.
I love that because that's exactly what I want. And I think that there's people now that are starting to come up to me and say that they've listened to my YouTube and,
They've listened to
and
it.
it,
That's wild.
yeah, yeah. I listen to your YouTube. I click on, I put it on, it's on in the background. I'm listening and I'm like, dude, that's the way that I started really consuming Gary Vee. That
Yeah.
got me into Gary. That's the way that I've consumed him the most is by clicking play and listening to it while I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
And it's the way that I think a lot of the things that he teaches have like actually absorbed into me. And when I think about my YouTube community, I'm less caring about me providing them with a single moment of entertainment. I'm way more interested in actually changing the way that they look at themselves in the world. So I want them to be spending way more time with me, even if that's just listening. Um, because I think that the stuff that I have to share is stuff that I want people to actually like really absorb. And so I'm hoping that people actually do that.
I love that so much. And it you really are doing that. And the cool thing about the raw format is uh it does open up the whole world of like it just sees how real you are. It's just like these like it's just like it's so rare to see content just breathe nowadays, and it just breathes, and like you can a lot of like uh inauthentic people can hide behind the quick cuts. But like if you just have a camera sitting down and you're just like in a meeting, it's like, yo, this is a guy I like, and I'm sure you get fans that way and you get business that way.
I'm really excited for. I'm real. So I try my absolute best to be agnostic to the style that is happening in the moment,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, what I want to be able to do is understand how people are consuming and be able to meet them where they're at. But I absolutely feel like my style, if I could prefer one, would be me being able to speak, no editing, raw, very slow paced. Just because I feel like that's the most natural, like a conversation where I'm actually like sitting and communicating and like hearing you and you hearing me. So if that or when that does become a thing again that people are really interested in consuming, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
And for this moment, while we're in this short form fury of fast pace, like it feels like it's some sort of crack that you're watching.
Yeah.
I'll try my hand at like meeting people where they're at. And I'm grateful that there is like the YouTube side where there's like people coming to me being like, I actually really enjoy this slow pace of editing. Because that really is like the style that I really enjoy.
And I was gonna ask you about LinkedIn, but you just made a video on it. So go check out his video on that. Oh, well, just give me the quick, sell me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'll give
Yeah.
you a quick second. I think LinkedIn right now is a great place for people. I've been talking about LinkedIn for a while, but I wasn't talking about it for video. I used to be talking about it for writing or even images because there's just so little of people that post on LinkedIn. Most business people aren't posting content because they don't want to be seen by their other colleagues. And the only place that a lot of people can scroll on at work is LinkedIn. You can't scroll on TikTok or Instagram because they're blocked. So people will scroll on LinkedIn. And if you're a business person who has insecurities and the only people that are going to be seeing and the people that are going to be seeing you are the other people in the office, you don't end up posting. So there's so much room to post on LinkedIn. But now that LinkedIn has started doing video, everybody and anybody is starting to post because it's just another opportunity for vertical
Yep.
video. So what I think is, yes, I think you should start posting on LinkedIn right now because there's opportunity. But what my hesitation is I'm very curious if LinkedIn in a year is the same place if the content starts becoming just literally TikTok and not business. Then it gets to a place where it kind of is competing with TikTok and Reels and Shorts. And I just wonder how that actually ends up panning out.
Yeah.
So right now I would start posting, and I just think it's one to watch.
It's easy to stand out. It's like Seth Godin once said that he was applying for a job and he made his manila folder like an 1/8 inch bigger. Uh, and because of that, when they got the stack of folders, like you can just like people like just posting on LinkedIn is almost like the concept of an 1/8 inch bigger. It's just like not that many people are doing it, so you're
Yes.
going to stand out. You made I think it was a story or it might have been a video, but you talked about how Sam was saying that you should talk more about manifestation, and how that plays a part of your life. Can you
Yeah.
give me an example of maybe just like a little bit of insight of like how that shows up on a day-to-day basis for you?
I don't know who it was that taught me or where I learned it. It was definitely things on YouTube and books that just taught me about like the power that you actually have in your. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
hear me? Okay, cool. Um, sorry, I don't know who it was that actually taught me or where I learned it. I think it was YouTube and some books of just like the power that your mind has to create the reality that you're living in. And at some point, it got really clear to me that whatever I dreamt up, if I actually believed it, um, like really believed it and felt it, that it could come
Mm-hmm.
true. And like the way that I was looking at the world is just a pattern that I have lived in and that I can change that, and I actually have like the power to change it. So I got really interested in like, okay, how do you do this and what does it mean, and like how do I actually like implement this in in my life? And one thing that really started being helpful for me was speaking things out loud. Like first like writing
Mm-hmm.
down things that I wanted to do or things that I wanted to feel or the life that I wanted to have. Work, business, relationships, friendships, my own physical health, like just what would it look like if there was no
Uh,
limits, if I actually could do whatever I wanted to do. And then what really like practically implemented it in my life was I started saying things every day. So like affirmations, I would write out what I want to feel for that day, and I would wake up, and when I'm like starting my day, I'd be like, today I'm going to feel really excited for the day,
mm,
or today I'm going to feel really grateful for my work, or today I'm going to show up in this meeting and I'm going to show up with awesome energy. I'm going to show up and I'm going to give the most that I can. Just like speaking shit into existence. And when I started doing that, it started becoming really clear to me that wait, this is actually working. Like things are
uh-huh.
changing, and like I'm actually feeling better now, and I'm waking up more clear, or my business is I'm actually getting introduced to more people, and like people are resonating with my business. So just through doing it more and more, I've started to just be like, this is shit that really helps me. So anyone that wants to start, I would just say the way that you start is by first looking into the actual reality of the way that you look at the world is what world actually becomes created around you, and then looking at maybe deciding like how do you actually want to look at the world in your day, in your work, in like what would the most enjoyable way be
Yep.
for you. And then from there, once you actually have that written out of like, what does my dream day look like or my dream lifestyle look like, then I would just start like in my head. There's almost like steps to get there of like, okay, if I know that I want to have a thriving business, what do I need to do to get there? All right, I need to hire someone, or I need to start making content, or I need to start. It's just like, what are the steps that I need to get there? And then like I try and really speak those out into the world. I am going to build a community. I am going to be speaking. People are going to resonate with my
Yep.
message. So that's the way that I do
That's
manifestation.
fantastic. So write it, say it, and pro tip, if you want to take it even further, record it into your voice notes, play it back on your walk when you
Yes.
start your day.
I do that, bro. I started so I have them all. I have things written out, and I do this when I'm like, yo, I really want to. I feel like I'm kind of teetering. I actually want to get like more clear on what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write out things that I say to myself that make me feel really good, and then I'll say them into a voice memo, and then I'll go into CapCut I'll bring all of those audio files into CapCut, and I'll put a background song that's just like some sort of meditation song or like a chill
Yeah,
ambient sound. And I'll listen to that once a day. And like I'll literally play it. If I'm walking, I'll play it when I'm starting my work. I'll play it just at random times throughout the day.
I
And just
love
the
that.
repetition of hearing it, bro, the repetition of hearing it, I'm hearing myself speak confidently about shit that I want, and it's creative. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Well, when are you gonna when are you gonna drop JT's affirmation tape? Dude, that would go so hard.
For real.
That would go so.
Yo, I was listening to some to other affirmations on YouTube the other day, and I was like, honestly, like I feel like this is something that I got to do at some point. I don't care if 5 people listen to it. I
Dude,
actually
drop
think that
it.
this will be helpful. I know, right? I
Drop
might need to.
even if in one of your videos, it's just take your video. Some people are gonna say it's corny, but like the people that get it are gonna like freaking love it, dude. People that are
I
on that
agree with
wavelength.
that.
So okay, let's
I
go.
agree.
Speaking with like a download, giving away stuff. I want to ask you about your other download, deep questions for getting unstuck. There's 20 of them. They're fantastic for any creator that's trying to get through like a block. I'm going to ask you 3 for you to answer. I have 10 here. I was going to do 10, but I know that we don't have time for 10. So I'm going to get, okay. How are you know that you are having the success you want? And this is through the lens of, for anyone listening, through like creating.
Okay, so you want me to answer it as how I will know that I'm having the
Yeah,
success
yeah.
that I
So
want?
answer this as if you're doing your own activity to get unstuck.
Yeah, okay, cool. So the question is, how will I know that I'm having the success that I want? For me, the way I answer that is if my internal grading and my external grading are both line up. So I have like an internal scorecard in terms of content, and those things are like, how did I feel when I came up with the idea? How did the filming go? How did the editing go? How did the timing of posting it go? How did I feel with like the energy of me actually getting out into the world before anybody else has seen it? That's my like internal
Oh,
scorecard. External scorecard is, did it perform well? Did people comment on it? And like, is the comment sentiment good? Did people actually resonate with it? That's external. If both of those line up, then I feel like, okay, this went really well.
I love that. Internal. I never heard that. I've never heard that, but that's fantastic outlook on.
You need an
You need
internal.
that.
You need an internal because here's the thing. If I only have external, if I hate the way that content felt, if I hate the way that I wrote it, doing it was a drag, filming it was a drag, but I post it and it's amazing, I can't do that long
Yeah.
term. That's like a once a month, that's like a once in a while where I'm like, this really performed well, let's do it. Those are not the things you build your
Hmm.
career off of, because that's when you end up
Yep.
drained. So you need the internal and you need the external.
Okay. So, what do family, friends, or colleagues compliment or point out about you in a good way?
You are exceptionally good at understanding content creation. Can you help me with my content? I'm thinking about content. My content's not performing. I'm not enjoying it. How can you help me with content? Why do you understand content so well? Literally, that's the number one like, if I went and asked my fiance, what's something that I'm really good at that you feel like I should do more of, she would be, and I was like, for the first time asking this, she'd be like, content.
Yeah,
You love
yeah,
content.
dude, I love that. Okay, so the third one, and go download this. It's in your link. It's in your Stan store. Also, shout out your Stan collaboration. I want to talk about that too. That was
Thank you,
awesome.
bro.
Um,
Thank you.
uh, so what activities were the most fun for you to explore as a kid? What did you like about those activities? Are there any elements about them that if you brought them, that you could bring into your content now?
All right, so when I was a kid, I loved a couple of different things. I loved the internet, I loved creativity, and I loved sports. And I feel like those 3 things are 3 things that I'm doing right now in different ways. But I genuinely, when I was a kid, one of the things that I had the most fun doing was being on AOL Instant Messenger, being on eBaum's
Yep,
World,
yeah.
being on LimeWire, being on Napster. Like I loved the internet culture. I loved it. So that was one thing that I really loved as a kid. Creativity. I had a home video camera, and me and my friends would go and make little like almost jackass style stunt videos. So I loved creating when I was a kid. In sports, I loved trying to be good at at something that was physically
Mm-hmm.
demanding. And I feel like right now, in a weird way, business kind of feels that way for me. So when I was asking myself this question, it really does feel like my work that I'm doing right now is me being able to play like I am a
I
kid.
love that. JT, dude, I love connecting with you. You know what I was thinking about as we were
I
talking?
agree,
I think
bro.
this is the third time you've been on the show. And most people's content gets better over time. Like most people's production quality goes up over time. I decided, yo, we're doing iPhones only, and like it just feels real this way. Thanks again. Thanks for
I
coming
love it, bro.
on the pod. Go just type in JT Barnett anywhere. You'll see all of his content. I'm really loving the newsletter right now and the YouTube channel, and of course
Thank
the
you,
Shorts
bro.
platforms. Is there anything you want to say?
Bro, you're my guy, bro. I love connecting with you. I always love talking to you. Um, I'll go on this podcast 10 times, because
Y'all heard
I
it.
love spending time with you, and we always love connecting.
JT, thanks so much, brother.